anyway, I had to go to county lockup 30 days, and I got out, and my friends, like any good military friend should do, said, "You want to like pay rent or get food? No, let's throw a party and invite whores and have a gangbang."
Hey, welcome back to Four for the Road, everybody. I'm your host, Ken, the artist formerly known as Punk Rock, and I'm sitting here with our good friend Jim today with a very special guest. We got John Rogue from what you may have heard, the Colors Magazine. And then, John, you also have something else going on, right? Rogue Entertainment Industries, right?
Well, um, I have Rogue Photography. We did After Colors, did a stint with Easyriders and all their publications. Um, uh, my editor at the time now runs Biker Lives Matter. So we've been doing that for, I'm sorry, bikernet.com. So we've been doing that for the last 25 years or so. Still doing motorcycle rides and staying involved in stuff.
Well, right on. Rogue could, if you could just start with an introduction. So who is Rogue? How did you get started in the whole biker world? A little bit of your background.
Well, I started riding when I was 14. A friend of mine rode dirt and raced and had the #1 plate in Connecticut. So he taught me to ride in the dirt. I did that till I got a driver's license. I rode around. I was lucky when I went to in the military. I rode in different other countries. Came back after the service. Rode around local drive-in kind of things. There was an issue where we got banned from a local park. So
when you say we, who is we when you say we?
At this time, it was just people that rode motorcycles. It eventually turned into the Huns. We got together, fought the park thing. Everybody liked being together and doing all that kind of stuff and the camaraderie with it. So when it was over, a couple of the guys go, we ought to start a club. So we did.
And that was the Huns Motorcycle Club out of Connecticut?
Right. Its mother chapter is in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Predominantly there, had chapters in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and Canada.
So what year was this that this started?
Late 50s, early 60s. I'd have to go look. Yeah, some of the stuff about dates is going to be done. I'm an old guy now, so when did that really happen? I'm going to be around a date. I have all the paperwork and club, who joined when, whatever, all that stuff, but it's all put away in a filing cabinet.
What was it like, late 50s, early 60s, for a non-AMA guy to start in this club that kind of gained a reputation? What was life like for bikers back then?
A lot different. I guess if we're looking at what people of color are telling us that they're going through and getting stopped and harassed, and that was every day. You're not an AMA. Who are you? What gang you in? Whoa, dude! And I wasn't even in a club at that time.
You just had to look.
Yeah, well, it was anybody that wasn't dressed like an AMA guy with one of them cloth hats,
So when you say cloth hat, what do you mean?
The AMA type cloth hat that they used to wear, when they dressed up in the uniforms and did their parades and stuff. So the average blue collar working stiff, I worked in a steel mill. The rest of the guys that were in the club, a lot of them worked in factories, had jobs, But just like you look like I look like now, you know. I don't know that there was anything.
You mean devastatingly handsome?
Yeah, we can go with that.
All right, on. So you got harassed a lot every time you went out, huh?
Not every time. I got lucky. I at a young age I got arrested. Um,
That was lucky.
yeah, and the cop turned out to be a very good friend of mine. His name was Bucky Buchanan. He was infamous in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Him and I became good friends. My next door neighbor's uncle was the chief of police. I had a little deal with him. As long as his nephew didn't get arrested, he'd take care of things for me.
Oh, well, that
So a
worked
couple
out.
of times, yes. I had a get out of jail card as long as I kept his nephew out of trouble.
Right
And
on, man.
I had my dad was in politics and stuff, so I learned the game real young.
So what was it like? So you were part of the Mother chapter, is that correct?
Yes.
What was it like starting a club in the late 50s? I mean, what was that process like?
Well, we had been going to the local drive-ins like you used to see, you know, with the cars, custom cars and bikes, and the chicks there, you pick them up and go for a ride, them kind of things. And when the issue came up one weekend that no motorcycles allowed in the city park, first thing we did was ride in the city park, and actually called one of the cops that we knew. Said, "Hey man, I need you to come arrest me." He goes, "You smoking something?" I go, "No, just come arrest me. I want a ticket." "How come?" "I want to go to court. I'm going to fight this. I pay taxes. The motorcycle's registered. I just served my country. You know, um, I'm going in. I'm going in the park. I'm going to ride in the park, and so are the other guys." So that led to all of us getting involved in some of the AMA stuff with Fairfield County Motorcycle Association, and it was AMA. Um, they had their thing, we had our thing. When we were successful and overturned the law, they sort of went back to their thing. We went, okay, we missed this. So we said, somebody come up with the bright idea. We ought to start a club. Oh, yeah. We had a bunch of meetings, hung out. We're all hanging out anyways. Had 2 or 3 meetings and started the club. I ended up being secretary and did that for a few years. And then I was vice president and eventually president and international president. It was an interesting time.
So that first brush with bikers' rights, you think that's kind of what lit the fuse for you to really go in heavy like you did with a bait and all that for bikers' rights?
Oh yeah. Well, my father was I don't know what you call him. He was a neighborhood fixer. You know, when I lived in Bridgeport, it was Italian, Irish neighborhoods kind of thing. And back then,
Say no more. We get it.
yeah. So, and you know, they knew him, they knew me. So when this thing come up, I sort of knew the system. I knew the right lawyer to call. I used to cut the judge's grass. So that was a couple of little things on our side to get it going. And we saw what we accomplished. And, you know, there was the normal crap, just harassment of bikers going on. And then some idiot come up with one to make, well, actually, there were 5 laws. Joan Claybrook did this thing with the National Highway Transportation Administration, and they were trying to cut down highway deaths. So there was 5 laws: mandatory helmet law, 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, seat belts, some kind of alcohol content 1.2. So some of that stuff never flew, and they lost the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit thing. Obviously,
Yeah.
people just go. They even had a song about it. I can't drive 55. So
Sammy
we're going to
Hagar.
go after the bikers. They're not organized. And they actually threatened the state with withholding highway funds if they didn't pass the law. Where I come from, that's blackmail and extortion. So I got a hold of my buddy that's within the legislature, and a friend of mine, Donald Pappy Pitsley, was already doing stuff with it. So he was the guy doing the legislature. I was the guy supporting, bringing the army in. The club had come in, and we did the protests and those very orderly type of thing. I mean, when we actually went, we policed up the grounds when we left. We left the place cleaner. And of course, the big thing was we were coming back from Hartford one time, and there were so many of us when we went through the toll station to just shut the highway down. So it got interesting. It got interesting after that. And of course, we were getting people to register to vote, and the lobby thing, came about. After colors, and we'll get back to colors in a minute, Easyriders took over when colors failed.
Yeah, so you're talking about the magazine now.
Yeah, we're jumping over to the magazine. I'm liable to get off subject. So if I do, bring me back into where you want me.
Right on. Well, okay, let's just take a break.
Okay.
So right now, you're out of the military. You grew up in this town. You've started, with the help of others, you started the Huns Motorcycle Club that eventually would come to be an international motorcycle club.
Right.
You've started to get into the bikers' rights things and really doing great things there. How do you go from that to being a photographer and being a writer for this brand new organization called Colors, which for our listeners, Colors is the original outlaw motorcycle magazine. It is this mythical beast that is just out there, that was only out there for a few issues, and it really set the standard for how Easy Rider and Outlaw Biker and all those other trade publications eventually came to be. So how did you get into that?
Well, when I was in the military, I was in French Morocco, and the squadron I was in training pilots to fly. So they wouldn't give them no bullets. They give them gun cameras. So there's plenty of, and we're in the middle of East, So I got into photography. I was able to use the lab on the base. It was nothing to do. We're out in the boonies, man. There ain't nothing but fields and sheep and Muslims and all that kind of thing. So I was a pretty accomplished photographer. And we were just having fun, taking pictures, doing things. And then Phil Castle, which I knew, he was in a club in New Jersey. We talked about it, and he went and started the club. He started Colors, brought me the first issue, and go, "What do you think of this?" I said, "I'm with you. Tell me what I got to do."
Right on.
So, the publication, I was realizing at the time, if you were an AMA, they called you an outlaw. Okay. And we had guys coming back from the military and stuff, and they're just having fun. Just the good old country boy living in the city, but you're still a country boy,
Yeah.
and just going out and doing this thing that we do, and not hurting nobody. And just, well, the cops always need something to do. And during the time, excuse me, Godfather, but they were going after the Italians and the mafia, which of course never existed. So the Italians got political with them, and they needed somebody to go after. Again, the bikers are dumb. They're going to be easy. Their big mistake is the bikers ain't dumb. And we weren't organized, and they forced us to become organized to survive. And we fought them. We kicked
Yeah.
their ass. Okay.
I've always said it was so easy to infiltrate bike clubs and to go after them from a federal point of view, because I mean, we don't hide who we are. We wear it on our back. So you're absolutely right, John. Absolutely right on that.
Well, and I disagree with at the time. Okay, it was not easy to get into club. We heard about things, and I am well aware of through my life people that infiltrated clubs, and we exposed a lot of them in Easyriders years later. But it was prospecting. Okay, my two prospects, one of them worked for me in the steel mill. Okay, and the other one worked in the steel mill, but not for me. Okay, and it was apprenticeship in the steel mill and an apprenticeship to get into the club. It's my job. I mean, I got people that are teaching me how to do things, and you know, by this time I'm a grown man, but I'm still learning. As a matter of fact, I got people now that I'm 84 years old. I got people teaching me stuff still, and I sort through it. That's good. That's a little bit bullshit too. You know, you can't run with that. And I sort out what's there and okay, pass it on. And I try to take what I've learned and share that with others. And luckily, we've had the media beginning with Colors. When Colors folded after the 5th issue, Luke Hemsey brought me on with Easyriders in the 2nd issue. Part of that deal was he gave me, I could write whatever I wanted and they wouldn't censor it, but I had to take the weight. No problem, dude. You know, that would come with the territory.
You had,
No,
I'm sorry, you had to
wasn't.
take the what? I didn't hear you.
I had to take the weight. I mean, if I called some politician an asshole, you know, hey, I said it, you know, and that we can't really print that. Then you want somebody else working for you instead of me. And then my friend Keith Ball came on. He, when we were starting a bait, and he came on after that. He stayed 25 years. I stayed with him in different publications. He went on to start BikerNet, and we're still doing that. I think we just passed 25 years. Most of the stuff I'm doing for BikerNet now is politics and tech articles. I just got a new ride, and I got a bunch of nice little goodies to bolt on it and write about it. And so keeps me out of, keeps me, you know, having fun doing stuff.
Well, let's bring it back a little bit to Colors and the infamous Rogues Gallery. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it was the classic. The Rogues Gallery was technically like our police files, but it was kind of lame. So the English version of our police files is called Rogues and Rogue Files. So I would do an article on somebody like you guys, okay? Some of them were people I knew and looked just like all of us. Happened to be an engineer at Sikorsky Aircraft. Hardworking guy, family guy. Bad guy? No. Good biker. Lawyers, doctors, Indian chiefs. Okay, it looked like all of us. Okay, and that was the Rogues Gallery. These aren't the people that you're calling mischievous, bad, evil. They're your next door neighbor, dude. The ones that's in the PTA, the ones that's doing all these kind of things. The bikers are not bad guys. They're the guy next door, chick next door. We had some fun with that chick next door thing too.
I bet.
Yeah, we called it Mama of the Month, but yeah, it was. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing this.
So how long did it take to put together an issue?
A month,
A month?
two. Back in the day, back in the 70s, when we were doing it, now understanding Phil ran a fuel oil company, so he had to make money to get published. So you print one, get it out, and you sell it, of course, and then they came back in. So you had to have enough money to fund 3 issues, because you didn't get none of your money back until.
Oh,
Times were tough, and they just couldn't pull it off. And of course, there was a big thing with distributors. There was adult publications out at the time, Penthouse, early Playboy, Hustler, all them kind of things. They weren't having though, but there was big money behind them. Okay, we were a grassroots thing that was just showing our lifestyle. Like, this is what we're doing. We're having big fun doing it. We're not hurting nobody. Everybody's consenting adults. Okay, so it was a hard go getting them in the stores to sell. Okay, and a part of it was 2 issues. One was there was some nudity in it, and the other was, you're back again to outlaws and gangs. And the big argument is they're not gangs. We spend so much time trying to say we're not a gang, we're a club. And a matter of fact, my friend that I told you about, this detective, his favorite thing to me when he'd call the Huns a gang, I'd get, we're not a gang, we're a club. And he'd go. And when we get done, he'd tell me, just remember, my gang bigger than your gang. And I never knew what that meant until years later when what he was telling me that the cops were really a gang. If you stop
not
and
much
think
has
about,
changed.
yeah. So just yeah, it was an interesting time. Society is changing.
You went from Colors to Easy Rider after that. How long were you with Easy Rider?
Sort of, kind of, still are. When it got sold, well, Keith left. Dave Nichols took over, and I was contributing to that. We got so much of it, it went to In the Wind. That was the overflow stuff.
Yeah.
I
really liked that one, by the way. In the Wind, yeah. I used to love to get those because you just flip through all those pictures, especially, if you can't ride that weekend or whatever, you flip through those pictures and kind of live vicariously that way.
We had articles and so much stuff left over, and here's some good photos. What are we going to do with them? So somebody came up with the idea, and I think Kim Peterson was running most of it. Let's use these photos. And then sometimes after that, Bob Lipkin, who ran FTW and some newspapers and stuff, came on board, and we did Biker. Okay, it was at this time Easyriders was starting to do the custom bikes and the big builders and the shows and getting away from some of what I consider the fun stuff. So they came out with Biker. I did a lot with them for the 25 years that it ran. Dean Schaller did a hell of a job as editor. When he retired, they closed the magazine. So it was, and then Easyriders got sold. Yeah, I sort of, hey, you guys need something or somebody can't make an event, give me a call. But I'm starting to back out of this. And of course, now people are teaching me how to do this internet stuff. I'm doing stuff with Keith. Keith and I worked 23, 24, 5 years together. And when he went on to do the internet stuff with BikerNet, you mind giving me a hand, till I can get it rolling. 25, 26 years later, we're still doing the same thing, Matter of fact,
That's right
he's better be busy. He's supposed to be posting tonight. So I sent him
Gotta crack that whip.
I sent him a couple. He's the boss, but I get to do that once in a while with him. He's a good guy to work with. And it's a nice publication. I think it's Internet Magazine. You guys can go take a peek at it. It's free. It's just called bikernet.com. I'm sure you can find it.
All right, we'll do that.
Okay.
Bikernet.com. So all you people out there listening, go to bikernet.com. I can't speak today. So hey, whenever you were writing for like Biker and Easy Rider, you see all these events that they went to, especially Biker. Biker would go to all these club parties. So does that mean you spent your days and weekends hitting all these club parties?
Yeah. Well,
man, that's a tough life.
Actually, all through this, when I was in Connecticut, I worked in a steel mill. I was very lucky when I went in the military. They taught me a trade. People think I'm a good wrench. Pretty much, you can throw all the parts of a motorcycle in a box. I can put it back together. So, somewhere along the line, back in the 70s, I think the first company was Andrews Cams, and one of my buddies' brother worked for Andrews. So we used to get experimental cams. Here, try these out. Tell us what you think. And, sometimes we'd keep them in. We'd be the fastest boy around. Other times we'd put them back in a box and send it back to them. As this progressed to other parts, we get stuff. See if you could break this. Duh, I just broke your shit, man. What'd you do? I fixed it. How'd you fix it? So, okay, so we were doing technically what we call R&D today. You give me stuff, and your engineer did this, Don't let me run into your engineer. He got some knuckle drill to come in. He's upon a dumb. And then other times go, when I see the guy, I owe you a couple beers, man, because we're doing good. Oh, it was fun. Yeah, it was a fun thing. And it progressed to doing that. Of course, now I'm in the club and stuff, and we're going from Connecticut and the other places. And of course, Laconia, that's right up the road. That's a nice, fun ride. Then we started going to Daytona. And now we're getting to meet other clubs, people, other parts of the country. So, well, since you're here in town, how about writing an article on what's going on in Daytona? And we get a paycheck in the form of you get $300. Okay, you owe me an article. Okay. So how you spent that money was pretty much yours. At that time, when it was Easy Riders, you check in the morning, they'd give you rolls of film. You go out and shoot the film and turn the film in. You never saw the photos. Okay. And back then, it was like 36 shots to a roll. I hope I got 10 good ones that are in focus. Now, with the digital stuff, it's a piece of cake. You just look at it and whatever. So, yeah.
Plus hundreds of shots. Easy.
Yeah. So it's come a long way. It's made our life a whole lot easier.
So you're still writing and doing pictures and still knee deep in all this.
Yeah. Right now, I'm Motorcycle Riders Foundation. I was following up on some stuff. They actually are working on a profiling bill for motorcycle people. It's against the law to profile just about everybody except bikers. Okay? So we're talking to these guys, come on. And there are some people that have done all the work on this. They've passed it in numerous places. But why are we going through the stuff like we did back in the 70s, a state at a time? Get a hold of Motorcycle Riders Foundation. Make this thing illegal on a national level. Okay. And they're doing that right now. There's something coming up, and you could find out about the Motorcycle Riders Foundation. I think people should support it. There are a lot of motorcycle rights organizations. I support most of them. There are, like anything, there's a couple that, me personally, just I don't like the way they run. So, but other people do. So, this is something we're never going to make everybody happy all the time. So,
But you need to get out there and do something.
and these things that came from work, years and years of work. Okay, and during that time, a lot of people went to jail fighting for this and making things change, and we're still dealing with it. So, what people nowadays can do, support things like the Motorcycle Riders Foundation. My other thing that I'm up to my ass, okay, is the veteran situation. I deal with veterans' rights, and some of them not being bikers now. So it all goes back to the clubs that have military people in them.
Sure.
You should be getting medical attention. You're not. I work with them to help them get into the VA medical system and disabilities if
Now,
they are.
Do you have an organization for that, or is this just something you're doing on your own?
Yeah, everything sort of now falls under Biker Lives Matter. So the word says it. If it's a biker, you're a veteran and a biker. Oh yeah, well, you qualify. So it starts. All of this stuff starts off like us talking. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I know a guy. Yeah, let me get a hold of him. That's one thing I got. I know guys. Okay, I really know a lot of guys. So when we have an issue, you did this. You're better than me at this. Come on, let's get involved in this. And we work together to make these changes. And it's working. It's worked my whole life. And the more people that we bring into it, the better it is. There is a system, and people are teaching me this system, and I pass it on through BikerNet, things like this show, other kind of things, and we're sharing information with other people. Okay, they in turn share it. That worked. Okay, that didn't go quite like you told me it was gonna, Rogue. Okay,
Yeah.
What did you do different than what we discussed? And then we go back, take your input why it didn't work, look and see why that didn't happen, and go back and do it again till we get it right.
So you're down in Florida now, right?
Yeah.
Is a lot of this local to where you are, or is this a whole nationwide thing that you're doing?
Nationwide.
Oh, right on.
I mean, I do it locally. I've been lucky to. My congressman is on his website. Is if you are a veteran and you have an issue, call my office. His name is Bill Posey. So he helped me and other veterans with stuff. So what I did when he was running for office, the boys and myself went out and put up a whole bunch of them big signs for him. Not the little ones you stick in your yard, but we put up, we don't have no money, or some people that got money give them to. But
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of money, but I got time and I got friends and we got pickup trucks. So we go put up signs as a way of helping them. And then we show people in the biker club. You take a picture of me wearing his shirt. Okay. Oh, okay. So, we're walking advertisements. People go, So that's part of the system, how we do this. I mean, I've years ago, when I first moved to Florida, I stood on the street corner waving a sign for one of the congressmen, and he actually had, instead of bumper stickers, we can't put them on a motorcycle, and we had a helmet on Florida at the time. So he had small stickers made up, and we put them on the helmet. So the thing is, if you find a politician that's willing to submit a bill for you, um, you try to keep him in office.
Yeah, you got to help those who help you.
Yeah. And it's, like I said, I don't know about everybody, but it's worked well for me, and it's working well for a lot of people. We're in touch with people in other parts of the country. Okay, let me know what's going on out in Arizona. Okay, then we'll put it up on BikerNet and share that information. Okay, let me know what's going on up in Massachusetts. So, the guy that's doing the stuff up there is a good friend of mine. Most of these people are, by now, we're good friends. We've been doing stuff over here. Look, guys, you're out there. You tell me what's going on. You all could write it down, send it to me. I'll format it, and we'll get it out. We'll get the news out to people. So, and like I said, along the same thing, blogs, you guys are doing the same thing. Just,
Yeah. So I'm going to shift gears on you a little bit.
Okay.
So you've had a pretty extensive career in the biker world, right? You've seen a lot of fads come and go, a lot of different bike styles. Is there a particular, and I'm asking this because I am a big fan of the 1970s super skinny long choppers, but is there a certain bike style that says that's it for me? Is there something for you that's it?
If you go back to that second issue of Colors, there's a bike on the cover with me on it. It's called Crazy Horse. I built that bike. That was the right motorcycle for me at that time in my life. I have been running a 2009 FLHTC with 162,000 on it, I think. Traveling. Okay.
Nice.
I was just lucky to make a hell of a deal, and ended up with a 2022 Ultra Limited. Now I'm in the process of adding little things to it to make it mine, because those are what I'm doing now. Is I'm traveling all over the country, and I ride in the rain, I ride in the snow. It's one of them things that you said you'd be here. If you're not in jail, back to the club days. If you're not in jail or the hospital, get your ass here. So, it fits my style. I like them all, and we see different people have different style motorcycles. If it fits you, cool, dude. Don't forget now, I'm an old guy, stuff I used to be able to do 30 years ago, I can still do. Okay. I just can't do it as quick.
Hell, John, you're out riding younger guys. I know.
Not really. I've learned. I've learned how to do some of this. I got good machinery under me. Okay. We just went. Barry Wardlow is I think, the top engine builder in the country. But personal opinion. His girlfriend and a bunch of the women that we're friends with did that Route 66 ride with Harley-Davidson out to California. So we get a bright idea. What are you doing? No? Want to go for a ride? Yeah. Don't you want to know where? No. Okay.
Let's go.
Where we going? Show up in Alabama. We're going to California. Oh, okay. So
Right on.
off we go. We go out to California and we do a whole bunch of stuff. And I did an article. He did an article. We came back here just in time to change oil and do a couple things and ride a Sturgis. So I do a couple things like that. Now, things have changed a little bit. You know, a lot of it is when you're working 9 to 5 kind of deal. You don't have the time. You're, taking care of yourself and family and doing all that kind of thing. Obviously, with my age, I'm on Social Security. I've done a couple things. I don't have a lot of money, but I do a lot of bartering.
Sure.
I got friends all over the country. I can leave tomorrow with a tank of gas and go to Sturgis with no money.
That's the dream right there.
Yeah. I've been stopping at a friend's house, feed me, do this, whatever, So it's, I'll tell you what, it's a really good feeling. That I have these kind of friends in my life, and I look that back at the club thing in the whole world of motorcycle and the brotherhood that we talk about. I'm lucky I have the best of all of the worlds with it. I have friends in clubs. I have friends that are free riders, and the spectrum. So I'm living proof that you can go do this if you really want to do it. I mean, there's a couple of bumps in the road. Don't get me wrong, okay? But
Yeah, but that's where the good stories come from.
Yeah, it's people ask me all the time, and I've had my fair share of brushes with the law and all kinds of stuff. And would you do it over? Every single bit of it, okay? Because the things that I had problems with, I learned from. Okay?
Sure.
And, do I think it was a mistake? And I think some of the mistakes was some of the people in the government that I trusted. And I had a couple weird situations. That I was really good friends with Jimmy Carter, President Jimmy Carter's sister and her husband. And at a time, I was probably somebody that you would like to have as a bodyguard. And I did that for her. And of course, I had a couple run ins with the Secret Service. And one of them tried me and lost. Got kind of testy after that, especially when the other guys found out about it. And
we're talking about Bubba, right? What was his name? Jimmy Carter's brother. What was his name?
I only met him once. No, not him. Jimmy Carter's sister, Gloria. She rode and her husband rode. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And yeah, big time bikers, and they belong to a club and everything else. So they had an issue. They were in Talladega, and this club, ain't no women riding motorcycles. They throw the bike in the water, and then the next year, she's riding a Harley. So I got a phone call from Gary Wynn at the AMA telling me what was going on. And, do you think you might be able to go to Talladega? Go, yeah. So we work out a couple of deals. I end up there. And the guys show up to throw her bike in the water this year. And I have I'd call it come to God meeting.
Yeah.
It might have been just a little pushy in the way I convinced him that if a bird shit on a motorcycle, he was going to hospital kind of stuff. And it was a very thing. So, of course.
Well, that's how some people learn.
Well,
so, hey.
It was reading the situation. I got this thing about people coming to me and go, look, we need your help in resolving this situation. Of course, I went ahead and did it the way we would do things in a club. And, man, what did you do? I go, let me tell you something, dude. You want me to do a job, and I agree to do the job. Just don't tell me how to do it. If you don't like how I handle things, go find somebody else. I don't give a so, yep. And I think we still have. Pardon?
That's fair. Absolutely.
We still have people that are doing stuff like that. I'm happy to say. So we take care of our own. The things have come a long way in the biker community, coalitions and clubs, other things. People talking together, doing things together. If there's an issue, let's talk about it before we do something else. So, come a long way, and I like it. You know.
I like it too.
Yeah.
Well, John, we've had you for about an hour.
Okay.
How can people get hold of you if they wanted to ask you more questions or kind of get involved in your organization? How can they get hold of you?
Well, I have a thing, a whole bunch of emails, rogue at bikerlivesmatter.com if it has anything to do with this. I also have rogue at bikernet.com. Those are probably the two best. Depending on what the issues are. We're doing a bunch of stuff now with accident scene management courses. It's a big thing we're doing. So my friend Vicky Sampolifo out of Wisconsin runs this thing. So a lot of motorcycle people getting hurt, people doing crazy shit. So if we're trained to do something till the paramedics get there, that's another thing we're doing too. So it depends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not hard to find. You can just punch biker rogue in the search engine, have some fun, see what comes up. Okay?
Yeah, I found a few things.
Yeah, you gotta put biker rogue in because they got rogue ale and they got rogue this, that, whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, but whatever you find, John Rogue on the internet, you're going to be in for some interesting stories. You've been around, John. Let me tell you.
I tell you what, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, and I'm looking at. Hopefully, we're setting some kind of thing that for the people that are riding it go, okay, it's a good life. I wouldn't change it for the world. It's what you want to make it, and there's people, that want to help you do this. Okay, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. So.
Well, I've been hogging all the questions. Ken, you got anything?
No, man. I've just been so happy just to sit here and listen, man. I didn't have I'm not really gonna go there, but no, I've just really been enjoying myself. I feel like there's a lot to learn here, and I feel like I've done that, And I mean, I really want to have you back on the show so we can get some of the stuff that.
Now,
we can
just remember, the only stupid question is the one you didn't ask. Okay?
100%.
There's all kinds of things to talk about. Okay, and depending when and where. My thing is, I'm pretty much out there. There's some things that obviously I can't talk or won't talk about because it could be bad for somebody else.
Yeah.
But if it's just me, bring it on, mother.
Yeah, I do have. I tell you what, I will ask one question, and this is a question that we haven't asked on the show in a really long time, but I'm feeling nostalgic today, and I want to start bringing this back. All right, you ready for this?
Sure.
All right, do French fries go in burritos?
Do what?
This is a California thing.
Like burritos, right?
Yeah.
Do French fries go in burritos?
No. You see,
I have no clue. I know what a burrito. Wait a minute. Whoa. Stop. Did you just say you're from California?
Yes.
Don't take this personal. But ain't that the land of fruits and nuts? And I used to do that with the guys. Now remember, Easyriders was posted in California. My buddy Keith lived there. I got a lot of buddies. But you got a lot of nutcases living out there, like that Broad Pelosi and the rest of them, dude. Okay? Yeah. Just be careful.
Yeah, they put French fries into burritos.
It's because that shit's delicious.
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna say Rogue doesn't like French fries in his burritos. That's okay.
Yeah.
We can bring him. We can bring him to the dark side eventually. I'm sure.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
next time we have you on, John, next time we have you on, I want to hear about all the biker parties and the shit that went down.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, the statute of limitations are over, so we can.
right.
Yeah, just as long. I don't care about putting me in jail, but I don't put nobody else in jail.
Man, that's the biker code right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Okay, guys,
So-
it's been my pleasure. I hope you guys got a shot to do this again, and we're all available. I hope this has helped people.
Absolutely.
One of the things that has happened is I have become the saver of history. Back when we started this, we're going to keep copies of it. So, because somewhere along the line, like when we did the thing in Washington and testified before the federal committee and all the rest of that, oh yeah, I was there and I did that, and they are rewriting history. Except,
Oh yeah.
dude, no, see this, no, okay, that's not what happened. Okay, and here's a sign-in list. Your name wasn't on the sign-in list, so what were you doing? I know you were back in a hotel room having big fun. Okay, so yeah, so we're looking at the people that come and go. Yeah, well, I was at that protest. Okay, what were you doing? We can't talk about that. So now we still have. Don't come out here and start kind of tell stories because we still got the records. Now with the electronic world and my kid hooking me up with this stuff and Bandit, whatever. So, given time, what happened during Bike Week 1972? Give me about an hour. We'll go find it. So, and
Right
what
on.
you're doing now and passing this on is the same kind of thing. We're educating people that I normally don't get to educate or talk to. And I think that, I hope that's what we're doing.
That's
what
exactly
I'm
what we're
trying.
doing.
Okay, that's
Yep.
just what I'm, because sometimes I don't get to hang with the younger guys as much as I'd like to. Sometimes,
You hear that, Ken? He called me a younger guy. You hear that?
I'll let you have that one, Jim. I'll let you have that one. The sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then. It's all right.
Every now and then. All right, John. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much.
It has
for
been,
coming on.
guys. Appreciate it. You guys have a good night and stay safe out there.
Absolutely.
You too.
We appreciate that, John. Seriously. And then I can't look forward to the second episode of this one. Because we're definitely gonna make that happen. But
Okay,
again,
well, you got my contact information and you got my son's contact information who did all this. Because, like I said, how do you turn the freaking cell phone on?
yeah.
that's where I'm at with this. Okay. So,
Outstanding.
Okay.
Well, again, John, we appreciate your time and we appreciate all you guys at home listening or in your pickups. I'm sorry for catching a couple of you guys off guard last time. I received a couple of Instagram private messages, be like, dude, like, are you in my truck with me? This is weird that you called me out in my pickup truck. So, yeah, there's that. We appreciate the love and support, guys, and we will catch you next week.
Bye.